Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I want to talk about the Flash movie. In particular, we got some new news coming out. We're kind of getting an official release date, but obviously that's something that could easily change. Other than that, we don't really have any news about what to really expect from it. Currently, well, because obviously it's going through a lot of hands over the course of the years, but currently it's Andy, I'm going to probably butcher his last name, Muschietti, I think. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but he's the director of the most recent, obviously the reboots of the, or rather remakes or whatever of the It movie. So that's pretty dope. But other than that, we don't really know too much other information about it. Like I said, like obviously the Flash movie has kind of gone through a lot over the course of the years. So it's one of the movies I was probably looking forward to the most, just because, like I said, because of the Flash TV show. I've said this countless times. Because of the Flash TV show, I became a much bigger Flash fan. I always thought the Flash was cool, but the TV show made me appreciate the Flash even more. So there's that whole situation. And obviously the big thing I'm curious to see about is, like, you know, ultimately like what the story is going to be. Because remember, like a couple years back, they were saying like, oh, the first Flash solo movie is going to be Flashpoint, which even I was like, oh, that's interesting if you're going to do that so early. I mean, because even I was like, that at most is like a second, maybe second movie, but really it should be like a third Flash solo movie, or maybe even a fourth one before we get to the whole Flashpoint storyline. Because obviously at this point in time, some of the characters necessary to kind of make that story pan out have already been set up, but there's like one key figure you're missing, obviously that being Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash. So that's why I'm kind of like, oh, wait till later on with that whole situation. But it's kind of crazy, you know, like, you know, just taking this video to kind of share some thoughts about, like, you know, what we could potentially see in the Flash movie and stuff like that. Because obviously it's interesting because Flash is in this, you know, unique case like Aquaman, where basically it'll probably be a thing of we get a little bit of his flashback of kind of like his origin, like in it, like we did with Aquaman. It'll probably be something like that, where it's like, because obviously you also have to think about too, like Barry didn't have the Flash suit and stuff like that before he met up with the others. I mean, to be fair, it's been a while since I've seen Justice League, but if I remember correctly, Bruce got him that suit. So probably get like flashbacks of, like, you know, obviously his mom's murder, and then probably like where he is right now. Because I don't know if they even set up in Justice League, once again, because it's been a while, like what he does. Because obviously he's like a crime scene forensic analyst in the TV show, but I think that's his typical job even in the comic books. But I don't know if they tackled that at all in the movies. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see like what his daily life is going to be like, whether that's something really going to tackle. Because like, obviously Wonder Woman, like that's come up a little bit, you know, obviously in Justice League, what she kind of does as kind of a side thing. And I think that's something we'll probably tackle in Wonder Woman 1984 as well. But Aquaman, that's not a thing of like, oh, what do you do for your, it's like, no, I'm spending most of my time, you know, just kind of being a myth and a legend. But he doesn't seem like he has like much of a normal, like, human life. You get what I'm trying to say? So I'm curious to see what they do with Barry in that regard, of him having, like, you know, a normal life and stuff like that. I mean, that probably is going to be in itself, probably the story is trying to, like, after all these years, it's like, I have these powers, I've become a hero. Because I mean, I'm assuming much like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, that they're both still taking place in that same universe where Justice League has happened. So I'm sure he already got the suit from Bruce. The fact of the matter is he's a little bit more confident in the whole hero game, because he's probably a little bit more well known. Because it's also a big question to think about too. It's like, well, because he obviously ties into Suicide Squad as well because of Captain Boomerang. Because if I'm not mistaken, Captain Boomerang is originally a Flash villain, which that also gets determined by whether or not whether we see like much interaction there, if, you know, depending on how the whole Suicide Squad, you know, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, how that ends up playing out. Because obviously Captain Boomerang's in that, so obviously don't get attached to any characters, kind of what James Gunn said. So you never know in that situation. So I was about to say, because I was about to say, like, not unless he ends up just taking out a whole bunch of like regular like bad guys and stuff like that. Like I said, it's probably just gonna be that thing of like early days of like, all right, I'm still doing my superhero thing. Like, we'll probably get like quick cuts of him like dashing all over the city, taking out bad guys like that, but still kind of dealing with his personal issues. Because I do remember in Justice League, he does have a sit down with his dad who is in prison. So that does lend itself to be like, yeah, the main overarching storyline of the first movie would be kind of like probably the whole Eobard Thawne situation, or his mom's murder. Because obviously we've seen, like, you know, speedsters be, you know, especially when you're able to get that on the big screen and kind of put like a huge budget behind it. Like, I'm always psyched for that, because that's obviously, like, you know, because as someone who really liked Justice League, those were also some of my favorite parts too, were just kind of like the Flash stuff, dude, just because it's like, it looks so cool. Because I like the special effect they kind of use in the movies, just kind of like that kind of blue electricity, and it looks so sick, you know, in the movies and stuff like that, just because, you know, sadly it's just a situation that the movies are have a much higher budget than the TV shows, so they can kind of go a little more all out than like the TV shows can, but still. Because it has like now, and I'm sitting here looking, you know, thinking about the TV show and stuff like that, it makes me wonder like what other villains they would throw, you know, in there, you know, because like I'm sure like the main overarching villain would be the Reverse Flash, but I'll be so curious to see how they handle that, because that might be something Barry would be dealing with the entire time, because that could be something interesting when they make it so like all these like serial killings are happening, and it's like, whoa, like there's like no capturing anything on camera, but when you do look at the camera, like Barry is able to catch it that no one else is. Like, whoa, that was, wait, someone realizing, wait, there's someone out there just as fast as me. Like I said, I don't remember if the movie Justice League set it up where it's like Eobard's the one that killed his. I mean, cause that could be a thing too, especially if he doesn't know Eobard. You know, it could be kind of similar to the TV show where it's like Eobard befriends him. Not the whole Harrison Wells things, but it's just like, oh, hey, it's your buddy Eobard. Yeah, it doesn't, and he ends up crossing paths with the Reverse Flash, making it so like, oh, the entire time he's buddy with Eobard without realizing like Eobard is actually from the future and that he's the Reverse Flash and all that. So that could be an angle that they could kind of potentially tackle in the movie, like I said. But this is also me pulling from the TV show in its own right. I think you could do that and just kind of apply and kind of turn things around, like, because the way that, you know, the TV show set up, obviously he's got like a whole team around him. I doubt like Barry's going. I'm curious like who are his allies going to be in the movie, because obviously he's not going to have a whole team like Team Flash does, you know, in the TV show. So I'm curious, like, you know, obviously this is him kind of going at it alone, because he doesn't even probably have like the rest of the Justice League. He'll probably try to call Bruce and be like, yo, can you help me out? Oh crap, Bruce is busy. And it's like, or maybe he feels subconscious about it, being like, nah, I can't really rely on her. Maybe I should call Diana. Nah, maybe I should call, you know, Vic. Maybe I should call, you know, Arthur, Aquaman. Or maybe, when I said Vic, I meant as in Victor, as in Cyborg. Maybe it's like, you know, is that whole thing that he's probably like, nah, I shouldn't probably call anybody. I can do this. Nah. So I think that'd be kind of interesting. Like I said, I feel like we still don't have 100% good grasp on, you know, Ezra Miller's Flash. So I'd like the opportunity to really get to know him personality-wise, to see maybe, you know, maybe after everything with Justice League, he like I said, he was kind of awkward and just kind of like, oh God, what am I doing? But maybe after Justice League, maybe he starts getting a little full of himself and like, yo, gets a little cocky, and that causes issues throughout his movie. I don't know. Like I said, these are just things kind of going off in my head. I mean, he does have an interesting rogues gallery that they could definitely pull from, because obviously like there's a whole Captain Cold situation. Because I even thought about it now too. It's like, wait, there's like the whole, because in Aquaman they refer to Aquaman as a metahuman, so that must mean that there are other metahumans kicking it around in the DC universe that have already, like, that we haven't really established yet. But so it's probably, now I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's probably not even just going to be Reverse Flash. It will be other metahumans, because I don't know if he gets his powers the same way as he did in the TV show with like the whole particle accelerator situation. Like that's something that we haven't really tackled, because obviously there's probably a good amount of time between him having his abilities and the events of Justice League, you know. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting, considering like it seems like other things are kind of pulling away from that continuity, but other things seem like they're kind of connected to it. So I'm wondering, are they going to kind of cut ties and kind of, I mean, I would assume it'd still be built into that continuity with the whole Justice League thing, but you know, and now that I'm sitting here saying that, it could easily be cut away from it, and like maybe, you know, because even Aquaman makes a one-line reference to the whole Steppenwolf situation, so it's probably going to be similar to that, I would assume. But you know, like I said, we'll ultimately have to wait. Obviously, these are some of my thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to get to know some of your thoughts about what you would want to see in a Flash movie, what you would expect to see. You know, let me know all your thoughts. But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.